come along to our cabin in the wild, 'cause we're in for some good fishing, feeling easy, feeling free. Yes, we're in for some good fishing, Canada.
The Rocky Mountains to the Maritimes, set your reel and cast your lines. Come on, let's go fishing, Canada. River, creek, lake or stream, and everywhere in between. Come on, let's go fishing, Canada.
The Fishing Canada Show is brought to you in part by MyOutdoorTV.com, outdoor television on the internet. Stearns, the life jacket experts. The Rocket Fishing Rod. And RadioWorld.ca.
Together we'll go fishing, Canada.
To survive the outdoors, you have to separate fact from fiction. For example, there's some people that believe that by rubbing your skin with pennyroyal oil will somehow keep mosquitoes at bay. Well, there's also people who believe that poison ivy and poison oak are just a cute little plant with a bad rap. But you wouldn't go trouncing into the woods and pick a bouquet of poison ivy, would you? I don't think so. You see, I did some research, and you know that just 1 cup of pennyroyal oil is so toxic that it can cause instant death. And in lesser amounts, it'll cause your liver to go into shock mode. So why would people risk using it to repel mosquitoes? No, the fact is that the only scientifically proven and safest way to repel mosquitoes is with products that contain DEET, like musk-oil. Now that's serious bug protection. To me, fishing isn't just about catching a big one, or boating a limit for that matter. It's about the experience. Tying on your favorite lure, making sure your gear's all ready. Yeah, it's about the whole enchilada. But there's one element though that sits high on top of that list, and that is anticipation of a great outing. And on today's program, my anticipation is way off the charts. If you watched last year's shows, you probably saw one of my favorite episodes where Pete, Mike, and I ventured into a little obscure bass lake in the fall and proceeded to clean house on both large and smallmouth. And we're talking big fish too, 3s, 4s, 5s, and even the odd 6. Well, you guessed it, folks. My anticipation's high because we get a return visit to our little piece of bass heaven known as Hastie Lake. Only this time, we're there at the opening of the season. It's mayhem in the shallows. I was just experimenting with my rat. I'm thinking, will the fish hit this thing? Well, guess what? Oh man, he annihilated. 2 twitches, bang, gone. History. Oh. How's that? Not bad, huh? Oh man, that is gorgeous. It's a big smallmouth. He's heavy. That's a good solid 4. There, we'll let him go right back. See you, buddy. 1 for 1. As you can see on this episode, we don't always have the luxury of our Princecraft 198 and our 200 Merc. But that, my friends, just proves that you don't need a big boat to catch big fish. With a few electronics, an electric motor, a 9.9 or 15 horsepower outboard, and a light aluminum boat, anybody can fish effectively. This looks good. What I'm going to fish here is a transition between a rock-hard ledge, a face coming down into the water, solid rock, and it goes into a swampy, marshy little, just a little bit of reed, not a whole lot, but those areas sometimes are like magnets, especially in these back bays that are really fertile with a little deep water. Places like this, the fish will just cruise in and out of that little different transition zone. And of course, you couldn't ask for better conditions. Not a breath of wind. The sun is just going down over the treetops. This is low light conditions at their best. It's not nighttime, it's not completely dark, but it's just enough. There he is. Nice fish. Now, just see, you saw that fish come up twice. First time he missed it completely, and I let him have it. I didn't jerk it. It's not a big fish. Whoa, not a big fish. But that was really cool what happened there. I'll explain to you. It's a largemouth. He's got that rat in his face big time, man. Big time. He is full of rat. Big lean bucket mouth. Oh, that's not that small. That's not that small. Yeah, I might be able to put my fingers in there. There it is. That's not that small a fish. My fish that looks like to be a male, probably finished doing his deal about 3 weeks ago, I'd say, maybe a month ago. And he's just called this territory his own. This fish will pretty much control this whole little patch of Back Bay here. Isn't that sweet? Spawned out, tired old male. The tail is just starting to patch up from the ordeal of spawning rituals. You'll see there's still a bit of blood in there. That is a pretty fish. That is cool. That is cool. Get back in there, buddy. That is cool. Now, he came in and hit it the first time. Most people will, when you're fishing a topwater bait, will react to the visual part of the strike. And it's just a normal tendency. I mean, you're watching this thing and all of a sudden your world comes to an end. It just blows up. So the first thing you want to do is heave back on that bait. And 99% of the time, all you're going to catch is air. You're not going to catch the fish. You got to feel the weight. As hard as that is to do, you've got to wait till the fish pulls that line down. Then you set the hook, because that means he's got the bait, he's turned and he's swimming the other way. Set the hook, it's going to catch something. If you set it on the reaction, the visual part of the strike, he hasn't even got it yet. He's just blowing up. And generally your reaction is so quick, you'll pull away from him as he's trying to grab it. That was cool. Now, I doubt very much in a small area like this, I doubt that there'll be another fish. However, having said that, if I didn't throw another cast in there, I'd be an absolute fool. Because I mean, it is just too perfect. A lot of things change throughout the season of bass fishing, and depth may be the most critical factor. During last year's Hastie Lake trip in the fall, a lot of the fish were situated along a bluff bank in 20+ feet of water. On this trip, being early summer, I guarantee the fish will be much shallower. I could use the same topwater approach, but I'm using it in a totally different situation. I don't know whether you can pick that up or not, but this bait, aside from sounding and looking great, it's putting out an awful lot of bubbles. It's very similar to a popar that's got the big open concave mouth. What's putting out those bubbles are those massive little ears. And when it's moving through the water, it's very similar to having that big concave lip that a popar does. And that's what's causing that gurgly, bubbly effect on the surface. That drives fish absolutely crazy. There's a bass. That's a bass. Okay, baby. Nah, hey, little guy. Look at him shaking, rocking, and rolling. Yeah, baby. That's better. Yeah, not gonna get rid of that one. Not gonna get rid of that one that easy, buddy. Geez, you know, I might need the net on that guy. That's a nice fish. Oh, that's a little bigger than we thought, buddy. That's nice. Boy, they're so nice. That's a big, healthy fish. That fish is done spawning, and he's just looking to find a home. Right out here off this deep ledge. Off you go. These low light conditions are perfect, because what happens, the fish that fish would normally be hiding underneath an overhang or around a boulder on the shady side of a boulder. But when the sun starts going down like this, everything gets dark down there a lot quicker than it does above the water line. And they come out and they start just roaming around. And that's when topwater baits like this, I'm telling you, not only are they fun, but they're the most effective, because these fish are aggressively seeking prey under the lower light. Anything on the surface and they smack it. They don't care what it is. It could be a bird for all they care. It doesn't matter. As I said before, I have absolutely no idea what a white mouse would be doing out here in the middle of the lake that attracts them. I don't think it matters. Mind you, the action on this is spectacular, and that's probably what it is. And then when they get close enough to have a look, because a lot of times especially a top water bait, you'll twitch it and then stop. And usually the strike will happen as soon as you move it again. That's because the fish has been under there checking out the bait, and it finally was convinced that it's a go. So when you move it, it'll hit. And if the bait is not realistic enough, a lot of times they just won't. They'll follow it right to the boat, and that's when you see them coming up to the boat and then just flashing off to the side. They finally realized it wasn't real, but that is a real mouse. I have absolutely no idea why they'd be chasing a white mouse, but who cares?